And welcome back to the We'll Take It From Here podcast. Another week, another episode. However, first, we are going to bring you our show's sponsor, because this episode is brought to you by Honest Supplements. Now, Joe, what's Honest Supplements? Well, let me tell you. In a world that is plagued by new illness outbreak every other day, it's important to keep your body performing at its best with the right vitamins and supplements. However, these products can get expensive, especially with rising prices all around us. Honest Supplements has resolved that problem. They mark up all products by just $1, saving their members an average of 50% per product. Yes, that means that the protein you're paying $60 for is only $30 on their website. They have everything from vitamins, sports supplements, recovery, weight loss, CBD, and so much more. It costs just $10 a month or $99 for the entire year to join the Honest Supplements Club. Timmy and I are both members and can advocate for the amount of money that you will save. And do we also mention that all products are third-party lab tested? Because that's the only true way to prove vitamins and supplements actually contain the ingredients that they claim. Don't wait. Go to Honest Supplements right now to join today and start taking better care of your health. And it's right. If you train jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, or just in the gym, you better be taking Honest Supplements. So go to their website, guys. All right. Now it's time for the show. What's going on, folks? Episode 188. We'll take it from here with Joe and Timmy. You're looking at us on YouTube, looking or watching if you speak the English language. You're also listening to us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else. And you're also listening on YouTube because YouTube has sound. It's 188 weeks in, guys. You think
it's a fucking weekend, isn't it?
It's going to be a great weekend. We have the two sexiest people on the earth with the best podcast ever. And it's here to make you think and entertain you. And today, it's just going to be us.
Yeah, just us.
Exactly. Take your Honest Supplements, motherfuckers. Train hard, train smart. No.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good segue.
When you need to.
Take a rest.
Know when you need to take a rest or know when time is up. If time is ever up. What am I talking about?
That's a great segue.
I don't even know. Good segue. So you were talking about offline. Something that you had thought about. You were playing Call of Duty.
Shout out to Call of Duty. Fuck that game anyway. Shout out. I only waste way too much time on that thing and fucking hate it the whole way.
Shout out to fuck you is the best split second.
It's like
change.
a toxic ex.
It is. No, video games.
Yeah.
Video games are fun, but they also suck.
It's like that college ex-girlfriend that like drove you nuts, but you had a lot of fun with her, but you think back on it and you're like, that was fucking stupid. Why did I waste time doing that?
Yeah. You know what the one thing
Not that I have that, honey.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
You know one thing about video games that's pretty interesting? When I was a kid, playing video games all the time, and then you're like, oh, when I'm like 20-something, 30-something, I'll never be playing video games ever again. Yeah. Like, it's going to stop. And then it's like, it never stopped. And not that I play a lot. I don't play too. I have a PS4 in there. Barely gets touched.
Yeah.
But up until a year and a half ago, I was playing pretty consistently, not obsessively, just consistently. But yeah, even in my 20s, I was playing a lot. And I was just like, it's funny how you think one thing's going to happen when you're a kid. And then, like, I don't know, I guess the way that times changed. Yeah. I guess the games got a little bit older, right? Because you're used to playing kid games when you're a kid, right?
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot and all that shit. I don't know. I think I personally don't have a problem with playing video games or people playing video games or men playing video games as long as, and this is barring that it's not your source of income. Like, you're not a professional gamer or you make YouTube videos, that's your source of income. If you're just playing video games because you want to be a lazy piece of shit, but you're not bettering yourself in other areas, that's where I think it's a problem.
It's a luxury, and it's R&R.
Yeah.
I say luxury because if you don't have a job, you don't deserve any luxuries. Go earn the time and an opportunity that you have to take luxuries. Like, if you don't have a job, you shouldn't be traveling around the world. I mean, if you have the money saved up, whatever. But my point is, if you have $0 and you don't have a job, you don't get to say, how come I can't do stuff? Go earn it. So that was my point with enjoying you can enjoy the game as long as you basically earn the time and as long as you're not absorbed by it and spending way too much time on it.
Yeah.
I
agree.
And too much time is an arbitrary term. It's what you decide it is. But you have to have an honest conversation with what that is. Yeah. And that applies to everything in life, not just Call of Duty. It's how many cups of coffee you have in a day or a week or whatever, how much alcohol you're drinking a week. All that stuff. It's like there's no wrong answer. And there's no right answer. There's a bunch of wrong answers. Right? You shouldn't have 2 fucking fifths of vodka every day. That's not good.
No.
But if you had one every weekend, whatever, it's fine as long as you're getting your shit done, doing everything that you want to do.
Yeah, which actually gives sort of you're starting to give the premise of the answer I was going to give for your question. So why don't you just what were you thinking about?
All right, so the question came up. Sorry, my new phone. I don't know how to turn it off.
It's Game Boy over there.
Yeah, right. So I was playing Call of Duty and I realized, man, I'm not as good as I used to be. Coming out of the pandemic where everyone was just sitting around playing video games because it's a way to socialize with your friends since you're stuck home. Even now, though, that's like, as you get older, hanging out with your friends from high school and stuff, everyone has different schedules. Like, besides for us at the gym, how, like, to coordinate schedules for people to work, it's miserable. The older you get, the harder it is. Like, I have a baby shower on Sunday. I'm seeing my high school friends. I haven't seen them since the last wedding. Mm-hmm. That's all I see them now. So, like, back to the conversation during the pandemic, we were all just dialed in from playing so much. We're really good now. Life's taken over. We haven't played as much. We're lucky for once a week, and I'm just like, wow, I've gotten so bad. Like, with video games, it doesn't matter. But if I'm a professional athlete, or even like me mountain biking, like it's a thing that I keep in my mind. Of at what age do I need to hang it up and not mountain bike and rock climb anymore? It's not a lack of danger there. There's danger. You can do it safely, but if you become too old, your action time, your balance is off, you can really hurt yourself. So the question is, at what point do you realize it's time to take the step back and stop doing that? Like Tom Brady playing football. Like he can still clearly play, but he's not playing at he could be competitive at a pro level. But should he still be doing that anymore? Is he past that, I don't want to say prime, but like his years of playing in that position? Yeah.
And my answer to that is when you decide. It's your desire. It's when you want.
The question is how do you decide?
Yeah, it's you. That has to be up to you. So, for example, Ken, right now, like Ibrahimovic came back with Milan at like 40-something and was playing. And he kept getting injured, right? Yeah. So, physically, there was a component there that was inhibiting him from playing and 90 minutes and, doing what he wanted. But at the same time, Tom Brady could easily be a quarterback right now, but would the teams want him? Would they let him? Would he be slower than the younger guys? Sure. Would his reaction time be different? Who knows? I mean, does he even want to do that anymore? Probably not. Yeah. When he gets older, he probably doesn't want to get smashed by a 300-pound lineman. Yeah. He's probably not as quick as he was before, right? And your body responds differently, so he probably doesn't want to anymore. I'm of the belief. So those are extreme examples where you have components that are what the organizations want to do if they even want you. Let's take your mountain biking, for example. Who's to fucking tell you stop mountain biking, dude? Yeah. Who's to fucking tell you that? You have to tell you that.
Yeah, but the whole question isn't other people. It's like, how do you decide for yourself?
Yeah, and that's why it's all desire. It's all want at that point. Like, but here's the thing. We as people tend to, not all the time, but tend to make decisions based off of what other people are going to think or say. Mm-hmm. And it's not right? In all cases, it's not right. So, for example, with this mountain biking, it's clearly up to you. But, maybe, let's just say you were one of these, I don't know, fucking competitive mountain bikers, or I don't know, someone just doing shit. At some point, there would come a time where you're old enough and you're like, oh, people are probably going to think I'm fucking crazy for this. Like, why am I still doing it? And then what's going to happen? People are going to say that. They're going to be like, hey, Timmy, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're 60 years old right now, but it's like, fuck you. It's not up to them, right? Mm-hmm. You should be making these decisions based off of you, right?
Absolutely.
That's it. Now, if you're, I don't know, like it's like I'm recently into F1, right?
I'm glad that's starting to pick up here.
Yes. I love fucking Formula 1's great. If you haven't watched it, it's not just a bunch of left turns.
Sorry, complete side tangent, but I heard the F1 show on Netflix really
it's great. It's great.
That was phenomenal. Like I heard people that don't really care about the stuff. They did a really good job pulling people in.
Little sidetrack. The F1 like telenovela type thing, which is Drive to Survive. It's just a documentary, but it follows the actual season. Apparently, like old school F1 people hate that because
they're the purists.
Who cares, man? At this point, it's cool. It's bringing attention to the sport.
I'm sorry. Why don't you want more people viewing your sport to get more money into the sport?
Right? Exactly.
God forbid.
Right? Well, they have enough money, but regardless, I know what you mean. More attraction, more attention.
Well, it's more like bringing it. Like the teams have the money, but like they don't have the money because they're the mega fucking companies that run all the, like, it's Mercedes, McLaren, all that shit.
Yeah.
But like the tracks and stuff, like being able to bring, there's not much here.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So
that is true.
It's only going to pull more stuff to the States.
100%. But back to your question. So there's a guy named Fernando Alonso who's like one of the best. He's historic, right? He's 42, and your reaction time goes at that point, right? But his reaction time's still good. A lot of these, for those who don't know, Formula One is mainly driven by people in their 20s, teens, 20s up to 30s, and you have a couple guys like Hamilton.
Dude, from what I've seen too, is they go so fast.
They go so
fast.
The
G's, like you have to be in like the prime shape of your life.
100%.
Like, and also not 6'5".
Yeah, no.
They're what, 5'5"?
Yeah, they're small. They're small in stature.
Sorry, that was a bug in my face.
No, yeah,
they're like horse riders.
Yeah. Well,
the horse
not
racers.
As short.
But like my point is, they're small people. You know?
Yes.
You're not 6 foot plus. You're not.
There is one guy. There is one guy who's 6 foot plus, but other than him, like,
yeah, but I'm sure he's a string bean.
Yeah, he's not big at all.
Yeah, he's not yoked.
No, he's not
yoked.
Be. No, you can't be yoked. But that's the point. Is when you get older, right? He's got a family. He's got a wife and kid. At what point are people not telling him, like, dude, you're going 200 miles per hour on some of these turns, one wrong thing, and you're dead?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's thought about that, right? But at the same time, it's like, well, who are you to tell him that?
Yeah.
He has to come to that realization that, hey, maybe there's a danger here. Maybe I'm at 42, even though this is what I love to do, I need to hang it up. Like, you got to just come to that point. And I guess to answer your question, it's different with everyone, and you feel it too. Like, when you want to move on for something, even if it's little, there's a point where you just don't want to do it anymore, or you just have this feeling you're like, all right, it's time to move on. Right? And it's like, whatever. Like, I just don't want, this is not what I want anymore. I wanted it, I got it, and I don't want it anymore. Like, whatever, just move on. Like, you'll naturally move on. I think you'll just naturally move on.
But so the question I think is for the outliers, for the people like I don't remember there's a bunch of UFC fighters that like should have retired super early and they fucking didn't, in boxing and football and all those. It's more happened back in the day. I feel like most people now, a lot of fighters and all that, they start recognizing it earlier in the game. But like the people that don't know when to call it quits and they're just getting their ass beat and destroyed, and like you said, that's their decision. But are they having an honest conversation with themselves?
Honestly, maybe not. And I know what you're talking about, because then you factor into like injury, CTE with the head.
Yeah, but not even that. It's like, because there's like, if you're we'll just UFC for an example. Just because you're not doing UFC anymore doesn't mean you can't be doing Muay Thai classes and Jiu-Jitsu classes and all that stuff. Doesn't mean you're stopped. It's just you have to compete. Like,
I think it's an addiction, dude.
Oh, 100%.
I think at that level, it's an addiction. I think it's easier for us as fans, and I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's easiest for us as fans to say, yeah, dude, you should probably step down. You're like 30, 40-something, getting punched in the face all the time, or, you're putting your body through this. But at the end of the day, they when they're not doing that high-level competition, there's probably a lack in them that wants them to do it, and whether that's a right or wrong reason to do it, it's really up to them. And at the end of the day, man, look, at the end of the day, if some dude's like, motherfucker, I don't care that I'm 40. I don't care I've been punched in the head. This is not you. You're not the one who's going to get CTE. I don't care if you don't like watching me. I do this because I love doing it. You got to respect it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just generally, I think it's up to them. Those outliers, they'll tell it. They'll know when it's quits, bro. But then when it quits, who cares? Like, there's gonna probably be a time where, like, yeah, this is my last fight. You know, like I don't know. Do you share that sentiment or no? What do you think? Because you were obviously thinking about it. So, like, what was going through your mind when that happened?
Well, I think the question more or less is like internally, like how besides like knowing when, like what makes you start even thinking that? Like, is it like, hey, I'm slowing down, I'm not keeping up with the pace? Like, take away from that stuff. Mountain biking by yourself, you got no fucking pace. It's by yourself doing whatever the fuck you want. You know, I can take all day to do 1 mile, or I can do that in a half a minute. That's a complete exaggeration, obviously, on both ends. But so there's no rules, but it's like, okay, shit, like I'm starting to slow down, reaction times, like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do mountain biking, but it's called gravel bikes. So it's like rail trails are called. The trails along railroad track typically, and it's all gravel. So you're not mountain biking, but you're not on the road. So it's a little bit of a combo. You're still not, it's not smooth pavement and you're not next to traffic, but it's something like that. So you're not as physically demanding as with like turning and reaction time and all that stuff. So like you can always ease it back. But like, how do you just like, what factors do you start thinking, okay, shit, maybe I shouldn't be putting myself like Alex Honnold, maybe I shouldn't do free solo climbing anymore. Okay, he had a kid. That's an obvious, easy factor to start. Okay, I need to dial it back the risk level. But then, you know, what else contributes to making the decision of making the adjustments?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not going to give you, so I'm completely going to give two personal examples that have nothing to do with danger, have nothing to do with anything of like a career or activity outside of a small activity. Okay. So mine was boredom, right? For these two. So let's get Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to play so much FIFA and so much Call of Duty like when I was teens, bro.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get bored of it, dude. Every game, every day, playing online, didn't care. I don't care. The next day, even if I got to a point where I was bored that day, the next day I was, let's go.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Oh, yeah, bro. You know it, right? And sure, it comes with the ups and downs. You get angry, your blood, whatever. It got to a point when I was playing Call of Duty that I was like, oh, I'm getting really fucking bored of this. I just don't like it anymore. I took a couple of months off, and when I came back, I was like, oh, I'm going to like this again. I played one game, and I had my fill, and I was like, oh, I'm done. Like, that was it. That was, like, my realization. Like, when I thought I was going to come back and start playing for a little bit again, I was like, oh, no, this is boring for me. This is boring. I love Call of Duty. This is boring. I don't get anything out of this. I'm done. I haven't touched it since.
Oh, right? Another feeling, yeah.
Sports. Soccer. Watching, right? Big soccer fan. Fucking love watching soccer. Bro, I came to a point this way. I got so fed up with how my teams in my league were just not performing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take some time off because they're pissing me off. And I don't know why I'm expending any energy. So this wasn't really boredom. This was more just like mental health. Why am I expending energy? So I stopped watching it. And then guess what? After a while, I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, I fucking get to, you know, it's cool not watching soccer. It was getting a little boring, and I'm pissed off how they're performing. I watched one thing of F1, and I was like, oh, that's my gravel bike.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This is fun. No, this is fun now. Yeah. I'm liking this. It gives me something else to watch. It gives me a different sport to like again. And, for me, it was just boredom. Like, it was just, like, the monotony. And I just wanted to find something else.
I think, yeah. That's a good point.
But, like, now that's something else. Like, I know in 3 weeks, Serie A, the Italian Soccer League, comes back. For all these who like EPL, it's 2 weeks. When that comes back on, I'm fucking watching it.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that I'm not watching it anymore. But now I got another sport to keep my interest, like, peaking at different times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just finding something. And I guess to your answers, and I just keep coming back to it. For me, it was always just a knowing.
Yeah.
That's why I don't listen to any other people when they tell me, oh, maybe it's time to hang it up. Dude, someone asked me, really close to me, 3 years ago, 2 years ago asked me, "Oh, so like I guess when are you gonna stop doing the podcast?" And I'm like, "I'm not stopping when. Why was that even a fucking question?" I asked,
when I'm in the fucking ground, bitch.
Yeah. I was like, and like I don't know how long I'm gonna do this podcast for. I plan to do it for a while. I plan to make this bigger than it is. But people were like, literally thought this was gonna be a fad for me. It's like, dude, I'm not. Just because you think I need to stop doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. I'll stop when I want to stop.
Yeah, we like talking. Leave us alone.
We like talking. Leave us alone. But like, it's the same shit. Like,
yeah, my own.
You fucking have that shit. Like, you just know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, have you ever felt there's been at times where you just knew, and then you just knew, and you realized you were actually late to just knowing, where you actually were maybe 6 months ago, you're like, that actually is when I probably should have.
Yeah, so that in my opinion, that is just a change of state. Mm-hmm. So if you want something or you desire something or you're in a state of which this activity or whatever it is you're chasing is what you want, that realization, which we call hindsight, the only reason in my opinion that happens is because you've changed states. So your body naturally and you as physically become a different version of yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh yeah, I can, why the fuck did I want that? But it's not that was the wrong decision. You were just in a different state. Yeah. That state could have been right or wrong. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that you're a completely different person. So that's why a lot of the times you look back, you're like, yeah, I don't know why I didn't want that. And maybe I should have, but it's like, no, you should have, because you should have been doing what you were doing at that time. You were just a different person. Now you're a different person that doesn't appeal to whatever it was you were doing 6 months ago. So sure, that happens all the time. Mm-hmm. Being conscious of how the mind works now as opposed to before, I think it's just a change of state that happens. So like, you're like, yeah, all right, I was a different person. Was I clear of what I was saying?
No.
Okay.
I agree. I'm following it. I agree with you. Do you think there's times where you or people may be in that state and they think back, 6 months ago is when I should have, but it's like 6 months ago I knew and I just fought it. I'm saying 6 months as an arbitrary number, but it's like, yeah, you're a different person now because you finally accepted it. Okay, but 6 months ago when you did know, but you were resisting every aspect of it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because there's the hindsight looking back, and like you weren't fighting it, you didn't realize, but like, that was probably when I should have, but this is when I was ready to do it. Stop. And then there's I'm going to look back, and I knew 6 months ago, I just didn't want to accept it.
Yeah, but
which is still the different person now. But do you think that changes the aspect at all?
Maybe, but I think if you are, adamant on being the person 6 months ago, mm-hmm. even if you're fighting it, as long as it's not like hurting yourself, I don't think it's wrong. Mm-hmm. I think you can do it, and you want to know what your mind will do something where if there's been times in the past 2 years where really big like emotional things have come up and with regards to one thing, and I've been like, oh, this is it, like I'm quitting. Mm-hmm. Like I finally hit that point of numbness and I'm quitting. No, I'm seriously. I hit that point of numbness. I'm like, damn, I didn't think I was gonna quit. 20 minutes later, something in me mm-hmm. didn't let me quit. Mm-hmm. That could have been that could be me fighting it. I could have accepted it, but I didn't. So like that thing in me said I should keep going. And when I keep going, when it is I achieve what I want, at that point, if it stays, great. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't, that's also great. Like I'm not going to regret it. Mm-hmm. I used to regret things in hindsight.
Yeah. But
what's there to regret, dude? If I grow from it, if I have a good time with it.
Yeah, that's a healthy mentality.
You know what I mean? Like, but so am I answering your question? Because there are times where you're like, yeah, maybe I am fighting it. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm trying to make, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, sometimes if you fight that urge, or excuse me, if you keep going and you don't quit and you basically force yourself, sometimes if it's something that means two things. One, you truly do want it.
Yeah.
And two, you'll get it. And then at that point you can decide. At that point you decide.
Point. I like that.
Maybe, everything's perspective.
Yeah. So that kind of segues into a better question. I feel like another good question, right? How do you, okay, maybe this isn't for me. I should cut bait and move on. And this, I think, was kind of part of the aspect I had originally with this original thought when I was playing Call of Duty, right? When you cut bait, and when is it no, that's just the inner bitch saying, fuck you, dude. You can't.
I'm so glad you asked this question.
Right? So I think that is another aspect that I think plays into the same topic.
So what is that? And I think a lot of the times the wanting to quit, the justification of quitting on what is right or wrong, in my opinion, comes because you're so used to that mindset. And let me explain. If you are, let me give a good example so everyone can understand. Okay. Let's just say you want to build something, a company, right? And it's an idea, and you want to take this idea that may not seem like it could be extremely successful, but you believe it can. You'll believe you'll make it
This
huge.
podcast,
right? But your predisposition to it is that it's unlikely, or people are like, dude, are you kidding me? Get a real job, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing? You have no security, yada yada. In the beginning, if you buy into the fact that it's going to be hard and long and arduous, it will. And then if you keep going and keep progressing, at certain points, even if you find some success, your old mind, your ego, is going to be like, hey, dude, didn't you say you were going to be extremely successful at this? Where is it? Where is it? It's going to be tricking you because you are used to it's safe. You're going outside of the thought of it being impossible. You think it's possible, but your predisposition to it was that it was impossible, and everyone was doubting you, and you're doubting yourself, right? So at some point, it's going to be like, hey, dude, it's been 3 years of your brick and mortar, and you're just making it by. You're doing well. You're putting your effort, but look, dude, sometimes you're just unlucky, right? We say it's all about luck, right? It's unlucky. What are you doing? So then you're like, fuck, dude. Maybe I did fail. Maybe I should call it quits. Maybe I was just unlucky. And then that's only because that's who you were. You were someone who thought and believed that it's all about luck, that it couldn't be possible, right? You had all these people feeding you negative thought mindset, right? That it was impossible, and you believed it until you decided to take the leap of faith. But if you keep going, right? That's where I think your mind is sort of trying to trick you by being a bitch. If you just fucking keep going, at some point, it's got to blow up. You have to hit something where they call it luck, but it's really just God working in your favor because you stayed the course and you found ways to improve. You did different things. And at some point, it's got to take off. It's got to reward you in some way. So, yes, I think your question is, when is your mind being a bitch? If your mind is being a bitch when you are challenging it, because all it's trying to do, it's not evil, so to speak. It's just trying to keep you safe.
Yeah.
You're going into an unknown.
Glad you use that word, safe.
Yeah, safe. It really is. There's no,
it's not, but
no one's
the
punishing
little
you.
bitch thing is not anything other than safety.
No, that's all. Yeah, exactly.
Safety. It's not hey, don't go take that cold shower because your body doesn't want to be freezing, shivering cold,
Yeah.
That workout, it's exhausting. And, wearing your body out. Your body doesn't want to be worn out,
Exactly. So what's going on, and by the way, I have not built a brick and mortar, so I'm not speaking from experience there. I'm just giving an example I think some people can relate to. But here's what I can relate to is based off of all of the readings and research I've done about the mind and the subconscious and how it works. what will happen, and this is an experience we've all had, is that safety. So when you're going, you take warm showers your whole life, right?
Yeah.
The first day that you go to a cold shower, your mind's like, whoa, 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 bro, what the fuck are we doing? This isn't fucking comfortable. And you keep, you keep fighting that. What your mind's trying to do when you say, all right, yeah, you know what, fuck this, let me turn it on hot, right? Oh, that feels good again. Your mind was like, see, bro, I'm trying to help you, bro. We know this. This is what we know. We know mediocrity. We don't know billionaire. We know mediocrity. Why are you bringing us into unfamiliar territory? That's what the ego is doing. It's trying to be like, hey, bro, this is what you've known your entire life. I'm trying to keep you here. You have to know to say, nah, fuck you. Yeah. Nah, fuck you. Like, it's like if you have a predisposition to how your relationships are. Like, if you think that your relationships always fail or you suck with women, all you'll ever be fed back is how you fail and suck with women. Then when you start to change yourself, right? Then when you start fucking getting to a point where you build confidence and then you start to really just throw that shit away, the nerves of approaching the woman, the mind's trying to be like, yo, bro, what are you doing? We don't know this. See, you suck. And then when you start to have success and you start to get more confident, that's basically being like, hey, mind, no, this is the new us. And then once the mind buys into it, it'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Now I'm safe here. It's all about what's being safe. And I don't mean safe spaces. It's just what your mind is used to. That's it. My very long-winded response. And I hope it made sense.
It did.
Okay. So when to know you're being, if it's doing something uncomfortable, your mind is trying to stop you, it's probably because it's scared. But it's scared to keep you safe. So all you have to do is don't believe in it and keep going forward. That's it.
So I think you hit a really good point. It's a safety thing. So I'm going to bring it into something that's like, okay, brick and mortar company, right? You have $0 left. You're starting to go in debt. You can't make payroll, blah, 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 X amount. Like, that's an obvious thing. Like, hey, we got to close down. Like, we can't do anything. Like, what? So, like, when do you cut bait?
Not my story, but I heard this story on a podcast, and I mentioned this podcast many times, and I highly suggest you listen to this podcast. It's great. It's the Real AF podcast with Andy Frisella. Not my story. I don't know him personally. He's got a very popular podcast. He's been an entrepreneur for 23 years. He's the founder and chairman of First Form Energy. Okay. And he started up what's called Supplement Superstores. His story, not mine, go listen to it, is he started a business. He was very much an entrepreneur his entire life. He made money in the stock market, lost it all. 19, he decides he wants to go into business with his friend.
At 19, lost it all?
At 19, lost
That's
it all.
so fucking young.
No, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, I know. So it's just funny. Like, granted, let's say I don't know how much money it was. I'm assuming it was a significant amount of money.
Yes,
it wasn't nothing.
I think he said on the end, it was like $60,000. He won in the stock market, and he lost it all.
Okay, so in hindsight, that's fucking pocket change. If you're a 40, 50-year-old successful person, $60,000 is.
Well,
it's not
compared. I think he's worth north of. I think he's worth over $100 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. He never says
he's worth over $1 million. That's all we have to.
Hundreds.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying he's worth over $1 million, and that's all that matters. $60,000 doesn't mean shit when you have $1 million. But my point is, at 19, that seems like the end of the world,
dude. So he tells this story about how he and his friend at the time, who was the co-founder of First Form and Supplement Superstores, they did the pavings of the parking lots. They made $12,000. They found someone who would front them for 1 year's rent or leasing, $12,000. So they spent all their money. They took a bunch of credit cards, maxed out the credit cards to buy the product, and then opened up their store. His store was not successful in the beginning. He would talk about times where they would sleep on piss-stained mattresses, is what he called it. They would sleep in the back of the store. That's where they lived. On pit-stained mattresses, making nothing. People would come into the new store thinking the store was going out of business.
Wow.
So at all this point, how many times do people probably are like, oh, you should quit, you should quit? How many times I don't know personally, I don't know this guy personally. How many times did you think he wanted to quit, right? But he didn't. He kept through it. He said finally, and this is the funny thing, all this shit comes into play. It starts picking up. He said he made every mistake in the book. That's why it took him so long. Okay. Listen to his podcast. He made every mistake in the book. He wasn't doing it for the right, or not that he wasn't doing it for the right reasons. I guess he just wasn't maximizing on like when he was having success, he wasn't being able to re-emulate that success because he wasn't understanding why he was successful. Something like that along those lines. He finally, in 10 years of business, after reinvesting into the business, in 10 years, he only paid himself $50,000. That's $5,000 a year. Okay. That's because he reinvested in the business. And then finally, he decided he thought visualization, manifestation, thought it was all a crock of shit. And someone was like, no, you should probably visualize. And he decided, okay, fuck it, fine. He started visualizing him driving up in a Lamborghini, parking the Lamborghini, popping the door open and jumping on the private jet and fucking flying off. He started doing that. And he said the next year he made $1 million, and then it's ever since it's history. How many times could he have quit there? How many times should he have quit there logically, into the logical mind? How many times did his ego mind try keeping him safe? And he said, fuck it. He had nothing to lose. He wasn't scared. He was sleeping in the back of the store, bro. And now the motherfucker, since he loves cars, has like 40-something of the most expensive. He has a P1, which is worth $7 million. Not, I know some of you are like, oh, who cares? He has cars. Dude, he's a car dude, and it's pretty fucking awesome. He has a P1. He's got like the La Ferrari. He's got the Lamborghini SVJ.
You know what's annoying about that stuff?
He's got everything.
You know what's annoying about that stuff?
What?
You need to have that money to buy that.
Yeah.
But also, those don't lose their money. They don't lose their value.
No.
So you buy a Honda Accord, you buy it new for $60,000. It's worth fucking nothing when it's done. That car you can own for 20 years, and it goes up in value.
Bro, he even said this on.
It's an investment, so it's a no-brainer.
No, dude. He even said this when he had one of his boys, a YouTuber, actually very successful YouTuber, who has his own like business now. They love cars, and they were talking about all those high-end cars are the ones that retain the value, like you said. If you buy a Lamborghini Huracan, bro, I'll take a Lamborghini Huracan right now. You give me a Huracan, I love it. But they depreciate. But when you get the SVJ, Lambo FCJ, fucking these high-end, the LaFerrari,
the super ones, yeah.
They retain. Yeah. They appreciate. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, even if you just get a Porsche 911, they don't lose their value. They slowly come down. But it's not.
But it's not that much. But but
they're not a good investment, but they're a better investment than a Honda Accord.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But
the whole point is you need to have that much money in order to get them for it to be a good investment.
But imagine if he had quit. Imagine if he said, "Okay, let me go back to working for someone."
So my question is, that's the obvious success story. Do you think there's people out there that don't have that?
I think they give up, and I don't mean that. Yeah. Oh God, that
like it's like I'm gonna refer to jiu-jitsu where you're fighting, and then you just mentally give up, and you're just no longer going for the attack. You're just playing defense,
right? But here's the thing, and I don't mean to say I don't mean to say that in such a pompous way, but I think it's because they give up. So think about it this way. They give up. They don't think whatever they believe in. Maybe they were told that it's all luck. You're never gonna make it. Blah blah blah. You don't know what people have been told. What their subconscious believes in their upbringing. Right. Think about it this way: jiu-jitsu. You come in the day, you're getting your ass worked. You're trying, and then you give up. You play defense. You lose the round. Then you go again. That same person. You lose the round.
Playing it safe.
You lose the round. You lose the round. But then one day, you get the better of that person. But if you quit jiu-jitsu, you'll never get the better of that person.
But my point is, you quit when you gave up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No, but
when you're playing defense, you quit.
Yeah.
You're still doing it. You're going through the motions.
100%. Yes.
Playing it safe.
Okay, I see what you mean. 100%.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you just stop jiu-jitsu at that point, you'll never beat that person. But if you keep coming back and then learn what you're doing wrong, which is what a lot of these successful people are. That's why when you said, well, do you think there are people who aren't like that? Yeah, the ones who literally just stop and give up. And if you say, hey, dude, you know what? Maybe there's something I am doing wrong, but I just don't have that aspiration anymore.
Yeah.
That I'm not criticizing you.
Yeah.
Do something else.
So I think a key aspect I want to take away from this is like if you have the mindset of like, woe was me, or it's not working, whatever, that's the negative. Like you're playing defense. Yeah. You're not going for the attack. You're not progressing. You're not trying to figure out why it's not working and improving.
Yeah.
being a student of the game. But then I think they're like those people that like trying to be comedians and they just aren't funny. You know, whatever the case may be, like it may just be you don't have this talent.
Yeah, but at that point, if you're doing nothing to, because yes, that's a great fucking thing, but
like I know I will not be a musician. Musician? Yeah, I can't speak either. Exactly, that leads to my point. I'm not going to be a musician.
But you have no aspiration.
Magician either. Musician.
You have no aspirations to be a musician.
Oh, I love to be able to play guitar, but
you would love to be able to, but. And I understand you're very busy. You have stuff that's going on.
I could make it a priority, but
absolutely.
But I don't think I have them. Like, I think I could learn to play guitar. I don't think I can be the next Jimi Hendrix.
Well, that's your limiting belief, and I know that sounds crazy.
No, I honestly don't think I have the skills.
What I'm saying is that's your limiting belief.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe you wouldn't be the next Jimi Hendrix, but maybe if you put it, and I'm not saying you have to do this, and I'm not criticizing you. You don't. It seems like you don't want to do it, so then don't do it. But who knows? Maybe you find a nice little way to do something, but it's not like Jimi Hendrix, but it's so damn good. It's Timmy Davis, and then it's Timmy Davis's way of fucking playing guitar. You don't know. You
say that for the next lifetime.
Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying? It's like, I know it's a very crazy thing to hear, because like, oh, well, I'm 40 years old, I could be a professional soccer player. I don't know. There's some fucking professional fighters who are fighting their first professional fight at 50.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe you won't be picked up by AC Milan or Man U because they don't want that, but dude, you don't know. Like, this is all just limiting beliefs we throw on ourselves, right? Like, you definitely could be a musician. Not saying you need to be. I see where you're going with it.
Just a super random one. Do you think I could be a NFL lineman?
Probably not.
So,
yes,
like,
but
so
could
like
you be
that's
in the NFL? Yes.
Yeah. So,
like if you
if you
had worked at that, if you had worked toward that, yes, not at a lineman, probably not. But also at the same time, that also has to do with like, that's a good point, because it's like.
So like, what about the college athletes? All right,
Yeah.
They're playing and they want to be a professional basketball player, and they're doing everything. They spend all day and night fucking doing it, and they go D3.
Mm-hmm.
What then? You can go pro still from D3. Okay.
100%.
And what happens if you don't get picked? You don't get Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
He doesn't get picked in hockey, but he goes in the golf.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I don't know.
Because like, the brick and mortar, okay, makes sense. But like professional athletes,
yeah, but like at that point, that's where I'm coming back to the thing in the beginning where it's saying it's like, that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I could sit here and be like, bro, you've been trying so long, stop it.
Yeah.
People were telling Frisella, dude, you still got that little vitamin shop. That's what he says. You still got that store. You still got that, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? It's now worth fucking over $100 million.
Yeah.
He's got five different fucking businesses. He employs over 1,000 people. Sure, the D3 people. Here's one. Are you giving yourself, is that D3 person giving an honest effort? Does that D3 athlete actually believe they can be in the NBA, or are they just fucking saying it? Do they actually have the belief in themselves? Or, because they'll never tell you this, do they have the limiting belief in their mind that they can't? And a lot of the times, those are the ones who they will never say it. They have that limiting belief, and they won't fucking make it. And it's not because, oh, it's just unlucky and someone... No, dude, it's because you never believed in yourself. And I don't know, maybe you fucking don't agree with me, but the good one there is what you said about the lineman. I mean, you could make that argument with that dude in the NBA who's 5'3".
Mm-hmm.
He went over all of the fucking odds.
Yeah.
And you can say that that's a one-time thing. Who knows? Maybe there's another 5'2" or 5'3" person who believes it that we'll see.
Yeah.
But if you don't believe it because of that, if you put that belief, that limit to you, you won't. And you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, does it make sense that if you're 5'8", 180 pounds, you're probably not going to play lineman against a 400-pound, 6'5"? Yeah, you're probably going to get eaten up. But maybe you have another place in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe work toward that position, right? Like, who knows?
So then the question is like, how do you make the decision to pivot?
That's probably.
So, but back to the original thing is you'll know.
You'll know.
You'll know. And you'll know the difference between you being a bitch and like But like that, how like that I guess that's the question though, is how do you know?
Okay, so Andrea Pirlo, he's one of the best midfielders he's my favorite player, but he's actually one of the best midfielders in soccer, like in history, in my opinion, and actually he's very well known. Insanely, they called him the architect because he would put the fucking ball. He would do these insane passes. He'd find you. He'd know you're there before you're even there. He'd put the ball in you, right? They played a position in soccer called deep midi. So he was the midfield that's like closer to the defense, but not so much the attacking midfielder, right? He started out as an attacking midfielder. That's what he loved to play. He was called the central attacking midfielder. He was playing right behind the two strikers. Then one of the coaches is like, nah, you know what? We're going to play you here. And you know what? Maybe something went through his mind. Maybe he didn't want to play there, but something went through his mind to not argue it with the coach and ended up being his fucking position. That was his position. He was known for that position. So for him, that was probably just being like, okay, let me try this.
Yeah.
Something was telling him, even if he wasn't conscious to it, something was telling him, don't argue this. Fucking play this. And it felt right. So that was his decision. That was his knowing. Being in the knowing sometimes happens behind the scenes. Being in the knowing happens, it doesn't always need to be conscious to it. Sometimes it'll come in a form where it comes out of left field and you don't even know that the change is happening until you're like doing whatever comes out of left field that happens. You're like, oh yeah, fuck. Maybe this is what
you don't realize it'd be weeks, months later, and you're like, oh shit.
Hey, dude, you got I don't know. Hey, man, we saw how you were tackling. I know you like to play running back. I know you played a little D in college. Let's try you out here on D back. What do you think? All right. Fucking make boom. Start cracking people. And they're like, okay. D back. Yeah. We found a position for you. I don't know. I think it was a great question about the lineman because that one's hard for me to argue.
Yeah, so like that's where, to me, it's like it's still along the same lines, but you're pivoting to something new, right?
Yeah.
So that's like I'm trying to dial in. There's like the obvious stuff that like it's just the mentality you got to push through, blah blah blah. But like there's like I'm not going to be 6'5", 260 and lifting 1,000-pound deadlift. Like I'm just not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm 5'9".
That's fine.
I'm not growing, right?
Yeah,
like that's the obvious thing. But like, so how do you come to realization and accept that and make that pivot? And I think but like
I think it's just and I think at some point you just go, okay, I gave it my all.
Yeah.
If you gave it your all, if you truly gave it your all, if you're not the D3 guy going, oh, hey, I'm telling my friends and everyone, I'm going to be in the NBA, I'm going to be in the NBA, but then while sleeping going, how am I going to make it to the NBA? I'm in D3. No, I'm not good enough. I'm like, you can't be doing that. If you truly gave it your all,
yeah, and
you truly did, and it just didn't work out for whatever fucking reason, at that point, you'll probably just come and be like, all right, it's time for me to give up. Or give up's a horrible word. Move on. Because everyone always puts this quitting. Bro, if you quit your job and then you start a business, or you quit your job and then you go find another position and then end up taking over the company in that position or being extremely successful in that one role and you grow, was it bad to quit that one job? It wasn't.
No.
So you'll know. That's the answer. Is you'll know. At some point, you'll just know.
Yeah. I think the question now is how do you decide between you knowing and you just being a little bitch?
How badly do you want it? I come back to that. How badly do you fucking want it? Because if you say you want something, but then after 2 weeks of trying, you're bored and don't really want it.
And how bad do you want it? You know.
Yeah. Dude, you know what it is. Bro, you know.
Honest conversation of how bad do you want it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. How badly do you want it, man? How bad did Frisella want it that he was fucking sleeping on piss-stained mattresses in the back store with no fucking money?
And when will you cave to the safety?
Right? And this is so much easier.
Oh, it's easy
for us to talk about, but when
it's
you're
simple,
in it,
not easy.
Like it's simple, not easy. Like
that's my favorite line. It's simple, not easy.
Like what I try to do is when I'm in the midst of something that may not be going the way that I want it, I try.
So you go jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. That was good. I try to really come back to all the stuff that I preach on the show. Stuff that I do preach on the show. But like I'm very cognizant to the fact that 90% of the time I'm good at remembering it and being like, oh no, these old thoughts, they're not real. Let's get rid of them. They're gone. Like this is not me anymore, and I'm not afraid of them. But there's 10% of the time where for about an hour, I'm overcome by the thoughts, and then I finally get out of it. So it is hard. It is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Mental resilience is what it is, and discipline.
I've got an interesting, and I don't know, I don't have the answers. I've got an interesting outview of like limiting beliefs that are like the way that society has been, not just like social issues, just how we grew up in society, how we grew up and were raised by parents. Those are what really determine your perception of reality, because that's what creates what you can and can't do.
It's your baseline programming.
Yeah.
Like if you have a computer, you get out of the box. Is it Windows or is it Mac?
Yeah.
That's what it is, and you can never get away from it. But you can program it and make it.
No, but
make new software and stuff. But your underlying software baseline is still there.
It is, but like, and that goes into like what are like the laws of like whatever the laws that God created in this realm, in this life. But like, I actually do believe that like because think about it this way: if your predisposition program was you having parents that tell you were never good enough, that doesn't mean that you can't get rid of that thought and then you become good enough by first starting here. So you can change it.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
up to you.
But my point with that I always refer to with the computer code, right? You have the Windows, you have Windows 10. Well, you need to upgrade to Windows 11, and that has more features. But like the whole thing is you can program, you can reprogram it. It's just you can't just download a new software. You have to go and rewrite old software, and that's harder to do.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
but it's possible. But it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard.
But it's harder. Rewriting is always harder than downloading new.
One thing that I will say from someone who has been rewriting his own code again in certain areas in life, it will take quicker when you don't fall for the lies. Yeah. So when the old code tries to put its way back and show you, and the safety blanket, the ego being like, see this is what we know. The sooner you don't just ignore it and go, hey, this was me, this is old code, no longer new code, that's how it goes quicker. The more you keep noticing the old code will stay there. That's all I'll say. Remember when we were talking about before this show how we didn't know what we were going to talk about?
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite conversation of the entire fucking week.
Yeah.
Was this conversation today.
Glad. Yeah. That's why we do the show.
Okay.
That's why you brought me on as a co-host.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, I tell you, people tell me all the time, I love you, John. I love you, Don. Don helped me start the show.
Dude, they built the foundation.
They were saying, but I love you too, and you guys did it. When people are like, hey, you know, who do you think is doing the best of the three that you've had? I will say it's you, and I'm not just saying it's you because it's you. The day that you started asking me questions, the first episode that you were on, I was like, ooh, this. I knew. I knew right there. I fucking knew.
Yeah. Don't worry. We're working on growing this more.
Yes.
And we don't just mean the audience, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about this stuff. So it's not Joe's apartment or my garage. We're working on things. We're visualizing and attacking.
Ghetto-ass fucking clock with no fucking minute hand.
Is that the hour?
That's the hour.
That's the only thing that matters.
No, but that's definitely wrong, too, because it's definitely not about to be 5.
Yeah, who cares?
It is. It's Friday. It's definitely past
4:15.
It's 6:15. My manager knows I'm doing a podcast. He knows.
Yeah.
I hit my numbers for the day. He knows. I was trying to make a joke there.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Anyway.
It's actually Saturday.
It's actually Saturday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're excited. We're gonna keep growing this shit. I'm ready.
Hell yeah.
I'm visualizing.
I'm visualizing.
What do you guys think? What are your comments on the things we talked about today? I want to hear everyone's thoughts.
Yeah, I'd actually.
Because I'm curious. Like what are things that you keep in mind? Like you played college ball. Like I played lacrosse, and then I played in the men's league, and I'm like, dude, I got no business playing this fucking men's league because in this area, Morris County, New Jersey, probably has the highest density of D1 lacrosse players. There's other parts of the country that have phenomenal lacrosse. Don't get me wrong, but we had the most dense area. So the men's league we play in, it was just like old D1 people. Like I played in the league, and there was a couple of people that played in the pros in the city. They just come for fun. It's like I can't even keep up with you. Mm-hmm. Like physically, I cannot keep up running with you. It's like why I'm done. It's not worth it.
Yeah, but you knew at that point, right?
But it just sucks because like there were people. There was like, okay, so you have the league of 10 people, 10 teams, right? And every team has 15, 20 people on it. Like probably about 30% were all the same level of the didn't go play in college. We just want to play and have fun level. And then, they're just different levels, but there's only so many people.
Yeah.
So they could have been there, but whatever.
Fuck yeah.
I stopped doing that, started doing jiu-jitsu. So
hell yeah, brother.
Mountain biking, all the fun stuff. Yeah. So what do you guys think?
Let us know, please. I'm thinking we're good to cut it down.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Really, actually, intrigued to know what your thoughts are. And obviously, I'm open to seeing what the comments are going to be, because it's going to be based off of everyone's predisposition. Mm-hmm. People are going to have different limiting beliefs. People are going to think differently. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine if you don't agree with what I'm saying or what we're saying. I really don't care. This is how I live my life. This is how Timmy lives his life. And you may live your life in a different way. And as long as you're happy, that's all that matters in the end, right?
Absolutely.
Boom. We're listening to...
Take your supplements.
Take your supplements. Episode 188. Yes, 188 of We'll Take It From Here. Love you guys. See you next week.